Hi, Grimith here. Welcome to Fallout Tactics. I've never played this before. I'm using the GOG version. This was a request from Tiny Shopkeeper, the keeper of tiny shops. 15 hours. Spent one of those wrangling with this game, as I do with some older games, trying to find a suitable way to record it. Fallout Tactics did not want to be windowed in any resolution other than 800 by 600, even with my life hacks and shortcut making knowledge. Ultimately, I decided to just do a monitor capture. I didn't want to do 1920 by 1080 because it makes the damn text so small, but there we go. I glossed over the manual and noticed there's a tutorial thing. So we'll be taking a look at that, but first, intro. By gamers, for gamers. Thanks, FDR.
We have declared war.
Microphone. I'm contractually obliged to talk during cutscenes.
And would lead the World War II. Allied air forces began an attack on military.
Besides, that in the 21st century, that America.
March 5th, 2052, the United States has officially closed.
The United States will go ahead with a national quarantine. The new plague virus.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that cacophony within my ears. Tactics. There's like squads and stuff. Like ghouls and dogs and super mutants. And death claws. Apparently that's a thing. They have like different special attributes and available traits. Chicago definitely looks better. That's a guarantee. We're like a Brotherhood of Steel initiate. We're trying to lead people to greatness for the Brotherhood. I've always been a team player. Gotta enlighten some fools, right? No more dwelling in huts. No more hunting lizards. Good old technology. Yeah. Very welcoming
Right
scene.
here, below. Alright, ain't nothing in there.
I haven't watched this before. This is so a content ID match, isn't it? It's not easy being as awesome as I am. Thank you. I've never been. Like what you've done with the place. Very, atmospheric. Yeah.
War never changes.
God damn
It's
it.
the inevitable result of the path humanity had chosen. Everyone who entered into the conflict expected victory. Everyone was optimistic. But as the hostilities escalated, optimism faded, and society began to collapse. The great vaults were built to house the wealthy, the powerful, the influential, and those deemed necessary to their survival. Inside, resources and technology were stockpiled, a final defense against the coming Holocaust. With the past behind them and the present destroyed, they looked to the future. The sturdy Vault Zero was to be the nucleus of the Vault network, housing the greatest leaders, artists, and scientists. The inhabitants of Vault Zero were to reunite the Vaults and lead the people to a new life, a new world. But after the bombs, the world would be a harsh one. To ensure the creation of a post-nuclear utopia, the Vault dwellers would need help. Machinery was constructed to tame a land hardened by the ravages of war, then tempered by nuclear winter. But plans were barely in place when the first missiles left the silos. During the destruction, communication between the Vaults ceased. Entire Vaults were lost. Those that survived were on their own. Not all Vaults succumbed to the machinations of war. On North America's west coast, one group of military Vault dwellers emerged almost unscathed. They surveyed the wasteland and squared their shoulders for the task ahead. These dedicated survivors salvaged the technology from the Vaults. Technology that was studied, replicated, and fiercely guarded. For they knew that while their power came from numbers, their future lay in scientific knowledge. In time, they formed the Brotherhood of Steel. The Brotherhood used their knowledge to drive back the atrocities of the wasteland, proclaiming themselves the technological saviors of mankind. They scoured the land in search of more technology, raiding mutant camps, bandit towns, and the broken remains of other Vaults. But even they could not keep pace with the high tolls demanded by life in the wasteland. The Brotherhood found themselves at odds with their need for new blood versus their code of technological secrecy. The debate was lengthy. Finally, the Elders ruled against sharing the technology with outsiders, convinced that they would endure as they had before. Further discussion was discouraged, and the Elders ordered the minority on a mission across the wastes. Super mutants, the foot soldiers of a conquered army, had been forced into a retreat across the mountainous barrier to the east. The Brotherhood constructed airships and dispatched the minority to track down and assess the extent of the remaining super mutant threat. But disaster struck while crossing the Great Mountains. A great storm gripped the main airship and flung it far from its course. The mighty ship was badly damaged. The smaller sections were torn from the main craft, never to be seen again. Many of the expedition's leaders were lost to the winds. The fraction of the crew that still survived struggled to keep their ship aloft before finally crashing on the outskirts of a once thriving metropolis. A city once called Chicago. Broken, scattered, and scarred, they took stock of the situation and once again squared their shoulders to the task ahead. The Brotherhood had much to offer the surrounding villages. They traded advanced medicines in exchange for food and labor. They traded protection from bandits in exchange for new recruits. In time, their ranks began to swell. Separated by distance and ideology from the main Brotherhood forces, the minority was free to forge a new Brotherhood of Steel, one that reflected the ideals they had strived for all along. However, one's future in the wasteland is never certain, for an old power has awakened, also bent on making this land its own. Life in the Brotherhood is about to change.
Alright. Kind of blacked out there a bit over hearing that pithy war never changes statement. I also feel as if life in the Brotherhood has already changed. What the fuck do I know, right? Let's just proceed with the tutorial. This will allow us all to learn the game together.
Recruit, attention! I am Paladin Ziskel. The Elders have ordered me to mold you lizard-chasing, hut-dwelling, moon-worshipping savages into Brotherhood of Steel initiates.
I don't chase lizards,
You are going
buddy.
to learn the basics of combat, followed by inventory management and other skills. First, Let's talk about this miracle of technology which you are currently using, called the Pip-Boy 2000 computer.
Holy shit.
You will receive all your mission briefs and debriefs through this device, and you can use it to review any information you receive during a mission. Pay careful attention, as you will be given a lot of very useful information. Now begin the mission by left-clicking on Start Mission.
These tutorialized briefings that like break the fourth wall, I do find some humor in them. Also, this voice is kind of a try-hard voice. Listen to me, buddy. I'm just gonna talk like this for the rest of the series. Yeah!
Let's get started, recruit. During the mission, you can view your surroundings by using the cursor keys to scroll the viewing window. You can also use your mouse to scroll the window by holding it over the border of the desired direction.
Neat.
Center the game window on Rex by right-clicking on his control tab. Take a look around. You will only be able to see the enemy if there is a direct line of sight between them and at least one of your squad members. Rex is carrying a submachine gun, SMG, in his left hand. This is his
Thanks
currently
for
selected
saying
weapon.
the acronym.
If you don't have a weapon in your selected hand, then you can perform hand-to-hand attacks. It might not sound like much, but nothing ever feels as good as delivering a mailed fist to some unsuspecting raider's snot box. We're going to target the dummy nearest to Rex by moving the cursor over it. When we do this, the pointer changes to a targeting cursor. Now, click Done. Target the dummy, and left-click to fire at it.
My eyes are not good enough to read this tiny print at 1920 by 1080. Woof! Oh boy. Well. That's right-clicking on the control thing, which is apparently that. We got this dummy over here. It is unhurt. Rex has been wounded, though. Damn, Rex.
To make Rex move, you must left-click on the location you want him to move to. If you hold the Shift key down when you left-click, Rex will run to that location. Now move Rex to the Training Station 2 by left-clicking on the area of floor marked 02.
Okay. Neat.
Most weapons have more than one mode. For example, the SMG can be used in either single shot or burst mode. Click Done, and right-click on the SMG to change it to single shot mode and shoot the next dummy.
Will do. Zeke. Zeke. I'm gonna call you Zeke now,
Every
alright?
character in the game has an inventory associated with them. Close this window and look at Rex's inventory by left-clicking on the button marked INV in the panel in the bottom right of the screen.
Alright. So many buttons. Where's INV? Do I press the hotkey?
The
Bam!
inventory window will list all the items that a character is currently carrying. You can get additional information on any item in the inventory by left-clicking on it. Rex currently has ammunition for the SMG and is also carrying a knife. When you have a squad of characters, you can redistribute items amongst them by opening a character's inventory and dragging items to the other characters or their character tabs. But this only works if the characters involved are close to one another. Close this window and drag the knife down to Rex's right hand to get him ready for a melee attack. After you have equipped Rex with the knife, close the inventory.
Alright, buddy. I can do that. Stallone's from Sharp Wit Incorporated. Guaranteed sharp for over a decade of use. Neat. And her face is certainly fascinating.
Melee attacks are initialized in exactly the same way as ranged attacks. Select the knife as your chosen weapon by left-clicking on it in the hand slot. Right-click on the dummy at Training Station 3, and Rex will walk up to it and attack it with the knife.
Alright, I'm glad you're reading this for me, because damn, my eyes can't do that. Also saves me the time, or the trouble of having to read it myself. Get wrecked, dummy.
You can loot corpses to see if they contain any items of interest. Do not think of this as dishonorable. Your dead enemies have a wealth of items to aid the Brotherhood. Weapons, armor, ammo, money. It's all out there for the taking. Close this window and loot the body of the dummy you have just attacked by left-clicking on it.
For the taking. What do you have, dummy?
This window shows two inventories. On the left side of the screen is Rex's inventory. On the right side of the screen is the inventory of the dummy, which we are going to loot from. Take the key from the dummy by left-clicking on it, holding and dragging it into Rex's inventory.
Got it, Chief.
The key you have found is one of many unbelievably useful objects littered around the wastelands. You must use it to unlock the door to the next room. Left-click on the door, and Rex will walk up to it and unlock it. Now, left-click on the door to open it, and walk through the open door to Training Station 4.
Man, this guy's pretty enthusiastic. I mean, maybe he's not trying too hard. That could be a natural voice for that individual. Who knows how long he smoked. I may have also forgotten my directions. I'm a terrible person. I think I figured it out, though.
Many items in the world are in containers, hidden from prying eyes and sticky fingers. These objects can be identified because when you move the cursor over them, it will change into a yellow target. The locker on Rex's right contains some items, all of which will be of use to you. Left-click on it to open it.
You gonna teach me how to throw a grenade?
The container object menu is exactly the same as the looting menu. Take the grenades and the stim pack from the locker by left-clicking on the Take All button to save time. Remember that you can put objects into containers as well as take them out. The inventory window will remain open, so close it when you're finished.
Okay, I can do that. Thank you. I also apparently have a stim pack. Neat.
The final type of weapon we will cover is the thrown weapon. Drag one of the hand grenades from your inventory into your right hand. Your right hand should still be your selected hand, but if not, then left-click on it. Grenades do damage to all characters within a radius of effect. Right-click on one of the dummies at the far side of the room to throw the grenade at it.
How can I tell which hand is my right hand? Is Rex naturally left-handed? And the guys in the... What could it be? What's in the box? I don't think it matters that much. Throw in the middle. There you go, Rex.
Now, open the next door and mosey in a military manner to Training Station 5 in the next room.
Mosey in a military manner? Okay. That's my mosey.
Your characters have 3 sentry modes that can be set. These are selected using the buttons to the right of the right-hand slot.
Well, that explains that.
1. Off. Only attack when specifically told to do so. 2. Defensive. Report back to the squad leader whenever an enemy is sighted and defend yourself if attacked. 3. Aggressive. Attack any hostile creatures if you have more than a 33% chance of hitting them. The attack threshold can be changed by right-clicking on the button. Now select the SMG and put Rex into attack mode by left-clicking on the aggressive button.
Sounds like he's a dog. Alright. I can do that. Good work, Rex.
Your characters will have a choice of 3 stances. These are selected by using the buttons to the right of the sentry mode controls. 1. Standing. Well, this may be new to some of you tribals. Standing upright has been around for years. It's also the default mode and the only mode where the character can run. 2. Crouch. This is useful for getting under low obstacles. It also gives the character a higher chance to hit the enemy with guns because the weapon is held steadier. Crouching is also useful if there aren't any toilets around. 3. Prone. This is useful for getting under very low obstacles. It also gives the character the highest chance to hit the enemy with guns. Some weapons, such as the knife, cannot be used when prone. But watch out, you are much more susceptible to melee attacks when prone. Now, crawl through the low doorway to Training Station 6.
I can do that. Wiggle. That is also some Leather
This
armor,
lesson
huh?
will introduce some of the skills that will be useful to you in the wastelands. The next door is locked, and you do not have the key to open it. However, you can pick the lock. Picking a lock is kind of like picking your nose. If you're successful, you're gonna end up with some kind of reward. Walk up to the door and open the Skill Decks menu by right-clicking on the SKL button in the bottom right of the screen.
Right-clicking, huh?
In this menu, you will see a lockpick button. Left-click on the lockpick button to select it, and move the cursor over the door and left-click. Your character should attempt to pick the lock. Like all skills, there's always a chance that you will fail. If you do, then repeat the operation until the door is unlocked. Once the door is unlocked, open it and walk through to Training Station 7.
Oh, this guy is funny, and not for the reasons that his jokes were written to be. Okay, let's go ahead and right-click on the skill button in the bottom right of the screen. Get him. You are a wizard. Holy shit. How did you even pick the lock from... What kind of lock does it even have? Like bolt hole at the bottom? I mean, is it like a wheel spin thing? You know what, whatever. You're a winner. Why question that? Keep wiggling. I can tell the stand-up.
Let's move on to stealth. The next door is closed because it is equipped with a motion detector that will keep it that way as long as it detects movement in this room. Your chance to sneak is improved when your character is crouched or prone, but remember, you cannot sneak while running. Also, certain types of bulky armor will reduce your chance to use stealth. Now, use the sneak skill by left-clicking on the sneak button in the Skill Decks menu, and walk through the door to Training Station 8.
Walk through it, huh? I can do that. Stealth. I'm a ninja. You see me? No. I'm John Cena. Oh,
The
no.
green bar on your character's tab indicates how healthy your character currently is. Your health can be restored by using the stim pack which you found earlier. This object can be used to restore health directly by double left-clicking on it in the inventory window, or drag it into one of your hands and select it so it can be used on yourself or fellow party members. Use it on yourself now by double left-clicking on it.
And you're gonna have me use first aid on him, I'm sure. There we go.
All of the statistics which govern your character abilities can be viewed through the character window. This window is opened by left-clicking on the CHR button. Go ahead, open this window now.
Alright, buddy. It's
The
open.
character window contains explanatory text for all of the statistics.
Yes, train.
This is accessed by left-clicking on the statistic in question. During the game, your character will receive extra skill points. These should be used to boost selected skills which you wish your character to specialize in. You will see that you currently have 20 spare skill points to spend. Use them to boost one or more skills. When you are finished, click the Done button.
Okay, train. We got it. Yes, train. It's tagged. Let's increase our guns. Neat. We have the usual assortment of special. Reputation, rank. Gotta lean my head close to the screen. Dummies. These numbers appear to be adjusted because of the fact that I'm crouching. I presume, anyway. And there's other slots to have other members of my party.
Finally, when you meet non-hostile characters, you can choose to
don't
talk
have to
to
kill
them.
them.
Some of these folks have valuable information regarding your mission. However, some of these civilian pukes have less information than your average pile of steaming mutant feces. The Brotherhood scribe in the room happens to fall in category number 1. Talk to him now by left-clicking on him.
Alright. I hope I don't spook him.
Congratulations on getting this far, my son. You have completed this tutorial. Now, walk through the last door into the adjoining room. There you will be given access to a bath and a new mission.
Alright. Well, I do what I want, old man. I'm running. Bam! I'm a ninja. Let's learn how to ambush.
In this tutorial, we demonstrate how to set up an ambush and draw out the enemy using a decoy. This strategy is particularly effective against less intelligent enemies, such as the dog you will encounter here. As with most encounters, this mission can be completed in a number of different ways. Click on Start Mission to view a recorded movie showing how to execute this combat maneuver.
Okay. Woo! Like size 8 font if like size 6. Probably should have set the resolution lower. We'll see how I feel in a few hours. Watch him draw the enemy using a decoy. Let's watch him do it.
By selecting Strom and moving him into a position where he can carry out the ambush. He is armed with a submachine gun, which is an ideal short-range weapon for dispatching opponents. To get increased benefit, we will put him into a crouched stance and select the aggressive sentry mode. Next, select Doc and run him to a point which is far enough away from the dog so that he can avoid damage, but close enough to attract its attention. Now run away, Doc. Notice how effective the SMG is at close range. Now that you've seen an example of how a professional soldier would approach the problem, let's see how well you do.
Okay. The game is teasing us. In theory, we need to ambush, so I suppose we can ambush. We'll do it from this position. And I don't care if you have a 1% chance to hit, buddy, go for it. Alright, Doc. It's time to be a winner. Run, Doc!
Well done. But remember that in the field, your opponents will often be more resourceful and better armed.
Son of a bitch. I will probably forget to do that. Stealth.
In this tutorial, you will learn about the benefits of the sneak skill and melee weapons.
Yeah.
We will move the character with the highest sneak skill up to a point behind one of the raiders. Meanwhile, we will move the character with the SMG into a position suitable for taking out the raider's partner. Click on Start Mission to view a recorded movie showing how to execute this combat maneuver.
Okay.
Start by setting Ghost to sneak mode, aggressive mode, and crouched.
Alright.
Walk him into the hut, hugging the back wall to maximize your chance of sneaking, and come up behind the leftmost raider. Meanwhile, set Strom to sneak mode. Crouch and walk him into the tent, trying to stay behind the low barriers.
Okay. Pathfinding here doesn't appear to be the worst. At least in this video, they're not choosing the most obtuse locations.
Reselect Ghost and attack the raider with the knife. Meanwhile, reselect Strom and attack the other raider with the SMG. Now that you've seen an example of how a professional soldier would approach the problem, let's see how well you do.
Okay. We'll get him for sure, guys. Look at these ninjas go. How could the Raiders ever hope to stand against us? They have no chance. We're spectral. We're spooky ghosts. Ooh, spooky.
Congratulations, recruit. You're starting to understand some of the subtleties of close combat.
A little disappointed in Ghost there. Little disappointed.
In this, the final tutorial, you are faced with the problem of taking out an enemy who is entrenched in a well-defended position. You'll see how to use height to gain an advantage over the enemy. You'll also learn how to use area effect weapons in a relatively safe manner. Dismissed.
Relatively, huh?
Start by selecting both characters and put them into the prone position and sneak mode.
Bullseye and Boomer. Okay.
Now, select Bullseye and move him to the top of the lookout tower to provide cover for Boomer. Whilst he's moving, select Boomer and get him to crawl around the other side of the bunker.
These strats, man. How could you contain them?
Once he reaches the top of the stairs, switch Bullseye into aggressive mode to provide cover for Boomer. And use Boomer to throw grenades into the bunker. Whoa! See that mess, recruit? Well, guess who's gonna clean that up later? Now that you've seen an example of how a professional soldier would approach the problem.
Yes, yes, professional soldier. You've noted. You don't have to make me feel bad, jerk. Alright, you're perplexed. Don't worry, I will aid you. Bullseye. Bullseye, honey. Little snuggly wuggly bear. Go be a bullseye. Right up there. You've been detected, Bullseye.
Well done, recruit. You have now completed your tactical training and may progress to real missions. If only the last class had been as successful.
Alright, everyone. Hope you all have learned how to play the game. And I hope you are capable of chiding me whenever I fail to do this shit. Unlike with other games, I really do know nothing about Fallout Tactics. And I am interested in hearing or reading, like, little quick tips. I'm gonna be a little bit ahead of comments, if only because, well, I'm gonna record a lot of this at the start. And I learn best whenever I immerse myself in the experience rather than you telling me how to handle every possible tactical situation. This will not be an expert playthrough. This will not be a mediocre playthrough. This will be me attempting to learn while talking through my mouth. My fat face. It's a brain drain. But, you know, any quality of life improvements, I read the comments. So, you know, just, don't tell me how to play the missions is, like, step one, blah, blah, blah. Because otherwise I'll just, like, I could just look at a walkthrough, you know, and just be wasting your time. I don't want to walk through. I want to explore this on my own. But I could certainly use a few crutches along the way, so give me your crutches. I am the only disabled person allowed in the series. Right, I'm done now. Let me see whether all that even recorded properly.